There comes a moment in every human life when waiting feels heavier than moving. We wait for support, for the right time, for someone to notice our struggle, for a miracle to push us forward. But the truth is simple and powerful. No one is coming to save you. Your growth begins the moment you decide to save yourself. Life becomes lighter, clearer, and more meaningful the day you understand that becoming a powerful person is not about dominating others. It's about mastering yourself. It's about rising from your pain, shaping your own mindset, and turning your inner strength into your greatest weapon. When you stop waiting for help, you stop giving the world control over your future. You begin to reclaim your focus, your discipline, your emotions, and your purpose. You start acting instead of doubting, building instead of complaining, and growing instead of freezing in fear. And slowly, you transform into someone unrecognizable, someone stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. That transformation doesn't happen in a single moment. It happens through daily decisions, difficult discipline, and a mindset that refuses to settle for weakness. This introduction is more than motivation. It's a reminder that your life is shaped by your willingness to step up. Powerful people are not born. They are forged through hardship, self-awareness, and relentless effort. They build themselves piece by piece, thought by thought, habit by habit. And you have the same ability within you. Today, you're not just reading words, you're standing at the edge of a new identity. A version of you who no longer waits, but acts, creates, and becomes. Step 1. Accept that no one is coming to save you. The first and most powerful step toward becoming a strong, independent, unstoppable person is accepting a truth most people avoid their entire lives. No one is coming to rescue you. Not your friends, not your family, not society, not luck, not miracles. No one. And this isn't a negative realization. It's the beginning of true freedom. Because the moment you accept that your life is your responsibility, you stop wasting time waiting and start using your time building. Most people remain stuck because they believe help will appear at the perfect moment. They think someone will discover their potential, fix their problems, change their habits, or magically open opportunities. This mindset keeps them passive, frustrated, and powerless. The truth is, no matter how much someone loves you, no one will ever feel your pain the way you do. No one will ever fight your battles with the same urgency, and no one will ever be able to transform your life from the inside. That job belongs to you. Accepting this truth doesn't mean you reject support. It means you stop depending on it. You stop tying your progress to other people's actions. Instead, you begin focusing on what you can do right now with the resources, strength, and clarity you already have. When you realize that your future depends on you, something powerful awakens inside you. A fire, a sense of responsibility, a hunger to grow. You start moving differently. You talk differently. You think differently. This acceptance removes excuses as well. You can no longer say, "I didn't get help, no one believes in me," or "I'm alone." Instead, you shift your inner dialogue to, "I will figure it out. I will build myself. I will become strong enough that I never have to wait again." This shift is the foundation of a powerful life, because a person who takes full responsibility becomes unstoppable. They stop blaming, stop complaining, stop crying for attention, and instead start creating solutions. They become their own motivator, their own protector, their own guide. And when you become that strong on the inside, life begins to respect you. People begin to respect you. Opportunities begin to respect you. Because the universe responds to effort, not excuses. Accepting that no one is coming to save you also sharpens your focus. You start noticing your habits, your weaknesses, your mindset, your distractions. You realize that every step forward or backward is a result of your decisions. And that awareness pushes you to make better choices. Choices that build you, not break you. This step may feel heavy at first, but it's the most empowering truth you will ever embrace. Because once you understand that you are the hero of your own story, you stop living like a victim. You stop waiting for change and start becoming the change. This is the moment your transformation begins. Not with help from others, but with the strength you already carry within you. Step 2. Build an unbreakable mindset. Before you can build a powerful life, you must first build a powerful mind. Everything begins inside you. Your confidence, your decisions, your discipline, your courage, your success. And the truth is, the strongest people in the world are not strong because of their bodies or money. They are strong because of how they think. Your mindset is the engine that drives your entire life. If your thoughts are weak, your actions will be weak. If your beliefs are limited, your progress will be limited. But if your mind becomes unbreakable, you become unstoppable. An unbreakable mindset doesn't appear naturally. It is created through practice, intention, and self-awareness. It starts with the way you talk to yourself. Most people underestimate the power of inner dialogue. They speak to themselves in a harsh, defeated, self-limiting tone. I can't. I'm not good enough. What if I fail? These thoughts quietly destroy potential. They kill dreams before they even begin. To build a powerful life, you must replace these thoughts with stronger ones. I can handle this. I will learn. I will improve. I have the strength to overcome anything. Your mind follows the direction of your words. If you feed it fear, it becomes afraid. If you feed it confidence, it becomes courageous. If you feed it discipline, it becomes focused. And once your mind transforms, your entire life begins to shift. Another part of building an unbreakable mindset is learning to control your emotions instead of letting your emotions control you. You will face stress, criticism, failure, and uncertainty. Everyone does. But powerful people respond differently. They don't panic. They don't collapse. They analyze the situation, adjust their actions, and keep moving. They understand that emotions are temporary, but decisions have long-term consequences. Strength comes from choosing your next move wisely, not emotionally. To strengthen your mind, you also need to embrace discomfort. Growth never happens in comfort. Every new skill, every major goal, every important transformation requires facing something difficult. Weak minds run away from challenges. Strong minds walk toward them. Every time you push yourself, wake up earlier, study when tired, work when unmotivated, you train your mind to follow your command. You become the master instead of the slave. A powerful mindset also includes unshakable belief. Not blind confidence, but a deep internal certainty that you are capable of improving, capable of winning, capable of rising above your circumstances. Without this belief, you will give up the moment life gets hard. With this belief, you will fight until you win. Finally, an unbreakable mindset requires protecting your mental environment. Avoid negative people, toxic conversations, and environments that drain your energy. Surround yourself with motivation, knowledge, and people who push you to grow. Your mind becomes what it consumes. Remember this: if you control your mind, you control your life. Build it with intention, strengthen it with discipline, and guard it with everything you have. Because once your mindset becomes unbreakable, you become unstoppable. Step 3. Take control of your daily habits. If your mindset is the engine of your life, then your habits are the steering wheel. They determine the direction you go, the speed you move, and the quality of the person you become. You cannot become powerful if your habits are weak. You cannot build a strong future while living with patterns that keep you small, distracted, and inconsistent. This is why the third step toward becoming a powerful person is learning to take full control of your daily habits. Because your habits shape your destiny more than your dreams do. Most people don't realize this truth. Your life is a reflection of what you repeatedly do, not what you occasionally wish for. You may want success, but if your habits include procrastination, laziness, scrolling endlessly, avoiding responsibilities, and making excuses, those habits will slowly destroy your potential. They will become silent thieves, stealing your opportunities, your discipline, your growth, and your future. Taking control of your habits begins with self-honesty. You must look at your daily routine and ask, are my habits building me or breaking me? This question is uncomfortable because it exposes the truth. But powerful people face the truth, not avoid it. Once you identify your weak habits, staying up too late, wasting time online, avoiding difficult tasks, you can begin replacing them with habits that strengthen you. Small daily habits can transform your entire life. Waking up earlier gives you more control over your day. Reading every morning strengthens your mind. Exercising builds discipline and confidence. Planning your tasks increases focus. Practicing gratitude calms your heart. These small actions create big change over time. Powerful people understand this. They don't chase miracles. They build habits. Another key to taking control of your habits is consistency. A strong habit is not formed in 1 week. It is formed through small, repeated actions. Motivation may push you for a day, but consistency builds you for life. Even when you don't feel motivated, you still show up. That's how discipline is created. That's how inner power is built. Your goal is to make good habits automatic, so they become part of who you are, not something you struggle to maintain. You must also eliminate habits that drain your energy. This includes overthinking, gossiping, comparing yourself to others, and wasting time waiting for the perfect moment. These habits poison your progress. The moment you cut them off, your life becomes clearer, lighter, and more productive. Taking control of your habits also means respecting your time. Every hour you waste is an hour of your life you never get back. Powerful people treat their time like gold. They know where it goes, how they spend it, and what it produces. When you start managing your time wisely, you gain control over your life. Remember this: your habits are creating your future even when you're not paying attention. If you want a strong future, build strong habits today. Take control of them, and you'll take control of your destiny. Step 4. Develop emotional self-discipline. To become a powerful person, you must learn to master one of the most difficult parts of being human: your emotions. Many people are intelligent, talented, and capable. Yet their lives collapse because they cannot control their reactions. They allow anger to destroy relationships, fear to kill opportunities, sadness to slow their progress, and impatience to ruin long-term goals. Emotional weakness doesn't just hurt your heart, it limits your entire life. That is why developing emotional self-discipline is one of the strongest steps toward becoming powerful. Emotional self-discipline doesn't mean suppressing your feelings or pretending everything is fine. It means training yourself to respond with clarity instead of reacting with chaos. It means learning to pause, breathe, and think before you act. It means choosing logic over impulse, growth over ego, and patience over panic. When you control your emotions, you control the direction of your life. One of the first skills in emotional discipline is learning to identify your triggers. What makes you angry? What makes you insecure? What makes you fearful or stressed? Most people react without understanding why. But powerful people observe their emotions like scientists. They ask, why am I feeling this? What is the truth behind this reaction? Is it worth responding to? This awareness gives them the ability to break the cycle of emotional impulsiveness. Another part of emotional discipline is building the ability to stay calm under pressure. Life will test you. Unexpected problems, failures, delays, criticism, betrayal. Weak people crumble under pressure. Strong people remain centered. They understand that emotions pass, but decisions stay. They refuse to let temporary feelings create permanent damage. Calmness is not weakness. It is a superpower. It allows you to think clearly while others lose control. You must also learn to control your emotional energy. Not everyone deserves your reaction. Not every situation deserves your involvement. Wasting emotional energy on small issues drains the strength you need for your bigger goals. When you become selective with your emotions, you become powerful. You protect your peace, you save your energy, and you gain the ability to focus on what truly matters. Another important practice is emotional resilience, the ability to recover quickly from pain, disappointment, or failure. Life will knock you down, that is guaranteed. But your strength is measured by how quickly you stand back up. Resilience is built through perspective. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? You ask, what can I learn from this? Every setback becomes a lesson. Every challenge becomes training. Every disappointment becomes fuel for growth. Finally, emotional self-discipline requires patience with yourself. Growth is not instant. Healing takes time. Strength takes practice. Allow yourself to grow slowly but steadily. Every day you choose emotional control, you become a better version of yourself. Remember this. A person who controls their emotions cannot be controlled by anyone else. Emotional discipline turns you into a calm, intelligent, powerful force. Someone who moves with intention, not impulse. Step 5. Learn to stand strong in your loneliness. One of the greatest transformations in life happens when you learn to stand strong on your own. Not because you hate people, not because you want to isolate yourself, but because you have finally understood that loneliness is not a weakness. It is a doorway to inner power. Most people run from loneliness. They fear being alone with their thoughts, their silence, their doubts. They fill every empty moment with noise, distractions, and people who don't truly care. But powerful individuals rise by embracing solitude, not escaping it. Loneliness becomes a problem only when you see it as punishment. But when you understand its purpose, it becomes one of your greatest teachers. Solitude reveals your truth. It exposes your mental habits, your insecurities, your hidden strength, and your real desires. When you spend time alone without distraction, you begin to hear your own voice clearly, your goals, your passions, your pain, your direction. This clarity is something you cannot get from other people. It only comes from within. Learning to stand strong in loneliness also means understanding that growth is often a lonely path. When you choose discipline over comfort, many people won't understand you. When you cut off bad habits, toxic friendships, and unproductive environments, you will feel alone for a while. That loneliness is not a sign to turn back. It is proof that you are moving forward. The road to becoming powerful will never be crowded, because most people choose ease over effort. If you're feeling lonely while trying to improve your life, it means you're finally stepping into a higher version of yourself. Another important lesson is this: the people who are meant for you will find you when you are strong enough to handle them. You don't need to cling to anyone. You don't need to force relationships or chase validation. When you learn to be comfortable alone, you attract better people, because you no longer settle out of fear. Standing strong in loneliness teaches you self-worth. It teaches you not to tolerate disrespect. It teaches you to demand better, both from yourself and from others. Solitude also builds discipline. When you're alone, no one is watching you, no one is praising you, and no one is pushing you. Your ability to stay consistent, focused, and committed in loneliness is what separates the ordinary from the powerful. If you can discipline yourself in private, you will shine effortlessly in public. That is how true strength is built. Most importantly, loneliness forces you to become your own source of motivation. Instead of depending on others to lift you up, you learn to lift yourself. Instead of waiting for support, you learn to support yourself. This self-reliance is where real power is born. Remember this: you become unstoppable the moment you no longer fear being alone. Loneliness is not your enemy. It is your training ground. Stand strong in it, grow through it, and it will turn you into a person who cannot be broken. Step 6. Build discipline that works, even when you don't feel like it. If there is one trait that separates powerful people from average people, it is discipline. Not talent, not luck, not intelligence. Discipline. This is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you are tired, unmotivated, stressed, or uninspired. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. But discipline is permanent. It is the invisible force that shapes your life, strengthens your character, and builds the future you dream of. Without discipline, goals remain fantasies. With discipline, even impossible things become achievable. Most people misunderstand discipline. They think it is about being strict, harsh, or robotic. But true discipline is self-respect. It is keeping the promises you made to yourself. It is choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort. It is saying, "I will not quit," even when everything inside you wants to rest. Discipline is what allows you to rise every time life tries to pull you down. To build strong discipline, you must first understand your mind. Your mind will always search for comfort. It will try to convince you to delay, to avoid, to escape. It will create excuses that sound logical but are actually lies. A disciplined person knows how to silence that inner voice. They don't negotiate with laziness. They make decisions based on what needs to be done, not on what they feel like doing. This ability is what separates winners from complainers. Another key part of discipline is consistency. You don't need to make huge progress every day. You just need to show up. Small, repeated actions compound into massive results. Reading 10 pages a day seems small, but over a year, it transforms your knowledge. Exercising for 20 minutes seems small, but over time, it builds strength and confidence. Even practicing your skills for a short daily session eventually makes you better than most people who never practice at all. Consistency is your silent power. It works even when you don't notice it. Discipline also requires creating structure in your life. Set routines. Create systems. Organize your environment so success becomes easier and laziness becomes harder. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You rise to the level of your systems. A powerful person builds habits and routines that support their ambition. Another truth is that discipline must be trained like a muscle. You won't become disciplined overnight. You start small. Wake up 10 minutes earlier. Do one difficult task each morning. Reduce one bad habit. Push through one moment of laziness. Each small win strengthens your inner power. When you win the small battles, you prepare yourself to win the big ones. Most importantly, discipline requires emotional strength. You must learn to act without waiting for motivation. Motivation fades. Energy fades. Inspiration fades. But discipline stays. A disciplined person can perform even on their worst days. Remember this: a person with discipline becomes dangerous, not because they harm others, but because nothing can stop them. When you build discipline that works even when you don't feel like it, you become a force of nature, unshakable, unstoppable, and destined for greatness. Step 7. Remove the people who drain your energy. One of the hardest yet most life-changing steps toward becoming a powerful person is learning to remove the people who drain your energy. Not everyone in your life is meant to stay. Not everyone deserves your time, your trust, or your emotional space. Many people carry hidden negativity, fear, jealousy, insecurity, laziness, chaos. And if you allow them too close, they transfer that energy into your life. You cannot rise while holding on to people who are pulling you down. Your environment shapes your strength. Your circle shapes your future. Some people drain your energy without you realizing it. They constantly complain, gossip, criticize, or bring unnecessary drama. They never encourage you, never support your growth, and never celebrate your progress. They only take your time, your attention, your peace, and give nothing meaningful in return. Being around such people slowly weakens your spirit. You lose focus, you lose drive, you lose your sense of direction. Your mind becomes heavy, and your goals feel harder to reach. That's why powerful people are extremely selective about who they allow into their life. Removing energy-draining people starts with awareness. You must observe how you feel after spending time with someone. Do you feel motivated or exhausted? Inspired or discouraged? Calm or stressed? Your emotions will tell you the truth even when your heart tries to ignore it. Once you identify the people who drain you, the next step is setting boundaries. Boundaries are not cruelty. They are protection. You don't need to hate anyone. You simply need to limit the access they have to your mind and life. Some relationships will naturally fade as you grow. When you change your habits, your goals, and your mindset, people who don't grow with you will distance themselves. That is normal. Do not chase them. Growth requires separation. And sometimes, the people closest to you will resist your progress, not because they want you to fail, but because your growth exposes their lack of effort. Your improvement makes them uncomfortable. They would rather keep you small than face their own weakness. Recognize this truth and release the guilt of outgrowing people. Another important part of this step is learning to value your energy. Your energy is your life force. It fuels your thoughts, actions, creativity, discipline, and dreams. You cannot afford to waste it on people who do not value it. A powerful person guards their energy the same way a king guards his kingdom, carefully, intentionally, and confidently. When your circle becomes smaller but stronger, your life becomes lighter and clearer. The moment you remove energy-draining people, something magical happens. You finally have space for better people to enter. People who support you, challenge you, uplift you, and align with your growth. When your environment becomes healthy, your mind becomes powerful. Remember this: you cannot become your best self while holding on to people who bring out your worst. Removing energy drainers is not selfish, it is self-respect. Protect your peace, and you protect your power. Step 8. Turn pain into power. Instead of excuses, every powerful person you admire has one thing in common. They took the pain life gave them and used it as fuel to rise higher. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is information. Pain is direction. Pain is the teacher that life sends when you are ready to grow. But most people misunderstand pain. They run from it, complain about it, or use it as an excuse to stop trying. The difference between broken people and powerful people is simple. Broken people let pain define them. Powerful people let pain strengthen them. At some point in your life, you will experience disappointment, heartbreak, betrayal, failure, loneliness, or loss. These experiences are unavoidable. You cannot escape them. But what you can control is how you respond. Pain has the ability to destroy you if you let it. But it also has the ability to transform you into someone stronger, wiser, and more focused than ever before. To turn pain into power, you must first allow yourself to feel it. Do not pretend you are fine. Do not suppress your emotions. Let the pain speak, but do not let it take control. Listen to what it is teaching you. Pain always carries a message. This is not your path. This person was not meant for you. This habit is harming you. This situation is pushing you to grow. Once you understand the message behind the pain, you gain clarity. Next, you must refuse to adopt a victim mindset. Pain often whispers lies. Why me? Life is unfair. I will never recover. Everything is hopeless. These are emotional reactions, not truths. The moment you stop asking, why is this happening to me, and begin asking, how can this make me stronger? Your entire world changes. Victims stay stuck. Warriors evolve. Turning pain into power also requires taking responsibility for your healing. No one will come and fix your heart, your mindset, or your situation. Healing is your job. Growth is your job. Reinventing yourself is your job. You must commit to doing the inner work, reflecting, learning, adjusting, and rising. This is how emotional wounds turn into emotional strength. Another powerful practice is using your pain as motivation. Use heartbreak to become more independent. Use failure to become more skilled. Use betrayal to become more intelligent. Use rejection to become more resilient. Let every painful moment push you to create a better version of yourself. Every struggle can become a stepping stone if you refuse to let it break you. Finally, understand this truth. The strongest parts of you were built in the moments you thought you couldn't go on, but did anyway. Pain gives you depth. It gives you courage. It gives you the ability to survive anything life throws at you. Remember, powerful people are not born strong. They are shaped by fire. They walk through pain, but they do not stay in pain. They rise from it. And so will you. Turn your suffering into strength, your wounds into wisdom, and your pain into pure power. Step 9. Learn to take responsibility for everything. If you want to become a powerful person, there is one truth you cannot ignore. Your life is your responsibility, and no one else's. Most people spend their entire lives blaming circumstances, luck, other people, or the world for their problems. They say, "I couldn't succeed because I didn't get help. Life isn't fair," or "I was born in the wrong place." These thoughts feel comfortable, but they are chains. Chains that keep you small, weak, and dependent. Power comes when you take full responsibility for everything in your life, no matter how difficult or unfair it seems. Taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself for things beyond your control. It means controlling how you respond to the situations you face. It means asking yourself, what can I do to improve this? What can I learn from this? How can I change my future starting today? Powerful people don't wait for external fixes. They take action, regardless of obstacles, delays, or setbacks. Responsibility is not a punishment. It is freedom. When you realize that you are the captain of your own ship, no storm can destroy your journey. Another key aspect of responsibility is owning your decisions. Every choice you make has consequences, and the moment you accept that truth, you gain power over your life. You stop being reactive and start being proactive. You stop blaming and start building. Even failure becomes valuable because it is your responsibility, which means it is your opportunity to learn and grow. Powerful people fail more than most, but they also learn faster and rise stronger. Taking responsibility also involves owning your emotions, habits, and thoughts. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. You cannot control what others say or do, but you can control how much power you give them over your mind. By owning your mental and emotional state, you stop giving away your energy and start becoming unstoppable. A life without responsibility is full of excuses, frustration, and dependency. A life with responsibility is full of freedom, focus, and power. When you take responsibility, you no longer need to wait for anyone's approval, permission, or help. You no longer waste energy complaining or blaming. Instead, you focus entirely on what you can do, how you can improve, and how you can grow. That is where real power is built, inside you, independent of anyone or anything. Remember this: the moment you stop blaming others and start owning your life, you step into true power. Responsibility is not easy, but it is the foundation of everything: strength, success, freedom, and influence. The person who accepts it becomes unstoppable, unshakable, and destined to rise above any challenge life throws their way. Step 10. Set boundaries and protect your energy. One of the most crucial habits of powerful people is learning to set boundaries, a skill that many underestimate. Yet it is the key to maintaining focus, energy, and clarity in life. Boundaries are not about pushing people away or being selfish. They are about protecting your mental, emotional, and physical energy so you can grow, achieve, and stay strong. Without boundaries, Your energy gets drained by toxic relationships, unnecessary distractions, endless demands, and people who do not value your time or effort. You cannot rise to your highest potential while constantly giving away your energy. Setting boundaries begins with awareness. You must recognize what drains you, be it negative people, social media, unproductive activities, or self-doubt, and take intentional steps to minimize or eliminate those influences. Ask yourself, does this situation, person, or activity help me grow, or does it drain me? Once you identify what weakens you, you can take action to protect yourself. Saying no is not rude. It is an act of self-respect. Saying no frees your time and energy for what truly matters: your goals, your health, your growth, and your future. Another part of boundaries is protecting your mental space. Your mind is the most valuable tool you own. If you fill it with constant negativity, criticism, or gossip, your focus will weaken. Powerful people carefully choose what they consume: books, content, conversations, and even environments. They guard their attention fiercely because they understand that what you allow into your mind directly affects what comes out in your actions and results. Physical boundaries are also essential. This includes managing your time, energy, and space. Avoid overcommitting, stay away from draining environments, and prioritize rest and recovery. Many people wear busyness as a badge of honor, but real power comes from knowing when to act, when to rest, and when to step back to preserve your strength. Emotional boundaries are equally critical. You cannot control other people's actions, opinions, or emotions, but you can control how much power they have over your feelings. Powerful people do not let others dictate their moods or self-worth. They choose how they respond, who they listen to, and what they internalize. They protect their inner peace because they know it is the foundation of their energy, focus, and resilience. Finally, boundaries are about long-term self-respect. Every time you protect your energy, you reinforce the message that you value yourself. You strengthen your discipline, focus, and confidence. You reduce chaos, stress, and distraction. And most importantly, you create an environment where you can thrive mentally, emotionally, and physically. Remember this: boundaries are not limitations, they are superpowers. They allow you to focus on growth, maintain energy, and stay unstoppable. Protect your time, your mind, and your heart, and your life will transform. Step 11. Focus on growth, not approval. One of the biggest traps in life is living for other people's approval. Most people spend their entire lives trying to please others: friends, family, colleagues, or even strangers online. They seek validation, praise, or recognition, and when it doesn't come, they feel frustrated, insecure, and stuck. Powerful people understand a fundamental truth: your growth is far more important than anyone's approval. When you stop chasing approval and start chasing improvement, you take control of your life in a way most people never do. Seeking approval weakens your mind, drains your energy, and limits your potential. You begin making decisions based on fear of judgment rather than your goals, values, or vision. You settle for comfort, safety, and acceptance instead of challenge, risk, and growth. Approval creates dependency. It makes you vulnerable to the opinions and moods of others. Powerful people refuse to hand over their power this way. They understand that external validation is temporary, while self-respect and competence are permanent. Focusing on growth instead of approval starts with self-awareness. Ask yourself, am I doing this for me or for them? Are your choices aligned with your vision, or are they designed to get someone else's nod of approval? Once you identify the difference, you gain freedom. You start acting from your own values, making decisions based on your goals, and taking actions that push you forward, regardless of what anyone else thinks. Another part of this step is committing to continuous improvement. Growth is a lifelong process, and it doesn't require applause. Powerful people embrace discomfort, challenges, and criticism as fuel for learning. They don't stop when others doubt them. They use doubt as motivation to get stronger, smarter, and more skilled. Each step forward, even without recognition, compounds over time and creates unstoppable momentum. This mindset also protects your mental and emotional energy. By detaching from approval, you no longer get distracted by petty criticism, jealousy, or social comparison. You don't waste time worrying about what others think of your choices. Instead, you focus on building your skills, improving your habits, and creating results that speak for themselves. Over time, you naturally earn respect, not because you demanded it, but because your growth makes it inevitable. Finally, remember that approval is fleeting. People change their minds, forget your efforts, or fail to appreciate what you do. Growth, on the other hand, is permanent. Skills, discipline, knowledge, and character accumulate and cannot be taken away. Focusing on growth transforms you from someone who depends on others for happiness into someone who controls their own destiny. Remember this: power comes to those who prioritize growth over validation, mastery over applause, and action over approval. When you stop seeking permission to succeed and start building yourself relentlessly, you become unstoppable, unshakable, and free. Step 12. Take massive action without waiting. The final step to becoming a powerful person is the one that separates thinkers from achievers. Taking massive action without waiting for the perfect moment. Most people fail not because they lack talent, knowledge, or opportunity, but because they wait. They wait for the right time, the right mood, the right conditions, or for someone to guide them. The truth is, there will never be a perfect moment. Power is created in motion, in execution, and in relentless action, no matter the circumstances. Taking massive action begins with clarity of purpose. You must know what you want and why you want it. Your goals, your vision, your values must be clear enough to guide every step. When you know your destination, action becomes intentional rather than random. You stop procrastinating and start executing. Powerful people do not overthink or wait endlessly. They plan just enough and then move decisively. Another key is consistency. Massive action is not always dramatic. It is often small, disciplined steps compounded over time. Showing up daily, even when tired or unmotivated, is the essence of this step. Reading, learning, practicing, working, building. These repeated actions create unstoppable momentum. Even small actions, when done relentlessly, produce extraordinary results over weeks, months, and years. Action also requires courage. Fear will always try to stop you. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of ridicule. Powerful people acknowledge the fear but refuse to let it dictate their steps. They move forward anyway, knowing that courage is built through action, not waiting. Every risk taken, every challenge faced, strengthens confidence and builds the inner power needed to overcome the next obstacle. Equally important is taking responsibility for the results. Action without accountability leads to wasted effort. Powerful people evaluate their outcomes, adjust their approach, and learn from mistakes. Failure is never final. It is a lesson, a guide, and a fuel for the next attempt. By continuously acting, reflecting, and improving, they turn effort into mastery and setbacks into stepping stones. Finally, massive action requires urgency. Stop delaying, stop waiting, stop hoping things will fall into place. Your dreams demand energy, courage, and relentless execution. The moment you decide to act, you shift from being a passive dreamer to an unstoppable force. Waiting only strengthens doubt, fear, and procrastination. Action weakens them and replaces them with power, momentum, and confidence. Remember this: the person who moves relentlessly becomes unstoppable. Knowledge without action is useless. Planning without execution is wasted time. Dreams without action remain fantasies. Take massive action today, tomorrow, and every day after, and you will transform your life. Action is the bridge between who you are and who you are destined to become. The world rewards doers, not waiters, and the moment you stop waiting for help, permission, or conditions, you finally step into true power. Congratulations! You now have the 12 powerful steps to stop waiting for help and become a person who commands their own life. Remember, transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens through daily action, discipline, and the mindset to rise above fear, excuses, and negativity. Apply these steps consistently, and you will see real change in your confidence, strength, and ability to achieve your goals. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more life-changing motivation, strategies for personal growth, and practical steps to unlock your full potential. Hit the like button, share this video with someone who needs it, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss powerful content that can change your life. Your journey to becoming unstoppable starts now. Take action today and stay consistent.